Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 8 of the Epic Summer of Make-Alongs vlog. Woo! I got it! You will notice that it is daylight right now. I'm recording this on a Saturday before my roommate gets home, and I'm going to try to do it lickety-split and just get all this out there because, well, let me tell you, didn't get a lot of knitting done this week either. Not complaining. What happened was, it wasn't so much the volume of orders, it was the fact that Dark Maga got really popular, and still not complaining, but the thing is, I'm limited to 2 racks in my oven. Dark Maga takes a minimum of 6 hours to dye, and on average lately, because I'm really picky about how my colors look and because I want full saturation, I've been like glazing them afterwards with more black just to make sure that they are like blackety black. So it's been taking longer than anticipated, but I finally last night got all my orders finished, so they're drying. I'm gonna pack them up and get them all shipped out Monday. Finally. Okay, so tomorrow begins Shark Week. I'm not officially entering because some of the prizes are mine, and that would be kind of weird if it was like, hey, Tina, you just want to skein your own yarn, or, you know, hey, Tina, you just want a gift card to your shop. So yeah, I'm not officially entering. I mean, I'm sure they would tailor the prizes, but you know, I'm actually not really, aside from Summer on the Lanai and I think the Murder Knits and the Summer with Joan, I'm not officially actually entering any of these make-alongs. I'm just kind of like doing it from the sidelines because I'm gonna be real honest with you. I don't need prizes. I really just don't need prizes. I have so much stuff, and anticipating a move in the future, the less stuff, the better. So, but I'm happy to participate. And, you know, really the prize at the end is that you stuck with something and you finished it, and now you have a beautiful knitted item to show. So before we get into the knitted stuff, and also, let me just finish out the Shark Week thought there. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be casting on a pair of socks. I have somewhere probably under my laptop right now in a box, because I'm very sophisticated like that. I have Shark Week yarn that I've been saving for this, so I'll probably do a pair of shorty socks. But that means like I really gotta buckle down and knit this week, which should not be difficult because as of right now, my only real task besides winding stuff and getting it out is working on the Halloween advent, and I am so freaking excited. I have Halloween print leggings on right now. That's how stoked I am. I am so in the mood. 'Tis the season. I'm totally gonna freaking do it. So without further ado, let me get into shop stuff first since I've been doing that. So because I was so swamped this week, I decided to make this week's Makeover Monday a little simpler. So this is Golden Oolong. That's pretty color accurate right there. I like how it makes everything else in the room look cool toned. This one I wanted to redo because I wanted it a little punchier, and I also, the original photos, okay, so back in the day, 6 years ago when I first started, I think I was using like a digital camera, like an actual digital camera, because my cell phone wasn't good back. Like, it's amazing how cell phone cameras have evolved over the last like 6 years. It's really amazing. But the way that the settings were on the camera and my background and everything, I had to really tweak it. So like the background is this weird purple color, which is kind of, you can see as it moves towards the camera, the colors shift. It's wild. But in order to get this color accurate, everything else had to be like weird and purple. I just didn't like it. And so I wanted to make it punchier and I wanted to change the photos. So that's what I did. So this is Golden Oolong, and it's a beautiful, beautiful golden yellow tonal, which incidentally, I think actually it would go really well with Moonlight Path, which is this week's Wild Card Wednesday. I really, look at that. I think they'd go pretty nice together. Ooh, let's see what the camera does when they're together. Oh my goodness gracious. Anyway, yeah, I think these two would be really nice together, actually. Moonlight Path also, by the way, if anybody has been like a Bath and Body Works junkie at any point in their life, that was one of their most popular scents. And I looked it up, actually, because I used to work for the company. Apparently, it came out in 2007, But that can't, I feel like that can't be right because I started working for them, I want to say in like 2005, I think is when I got that summer job, and then continued to work for them for a few years. But I could have sworn that was like one of their core scents by the time I had signed up to work there. So I don't know. I'm probably wrong on that. That entire period of my life is like not really existent. So anyway, but interestingly enough, I don't think I really liked that scent at all. But I did like the packaging and I like the imagery, Moonlight Path. So if anybody super duper loves Moonlight Path, because I know it had like its cultist devotees, so there's the yarn for you. So getting around to the purpose of this vlog, I did do a little knitting this week on one project again, and one project only. My skirt, my dress, whatever. So here's the thing about this. I've gotten up to the part where I've now added my sparkly sequins. The sequins are clear, so they're really difficult to see. But it's white. It's white. Nobody can deny that that is the whitest white that ever whited. Let me see if I can, without knocking my microphone, you can see the delineation here where I added in the sequin yarn, which is fine because I meant to start it on the skirt, so it's fine if it's obvious that like, hey, here's where the skirt starts. Not complaining about that. But what I'm thinking about is, so the increases that the pattern calls for, and they're written in the most convoluted fashion. Holy shit, I think I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. Okay, I'm going to be fine. Everything's fine. This is fine. The increases that the pattern calls for, they want you to knit into the stitch below, which I would assume would be so that you don't get holes. But that's, I don't know if maybe I'm doing it wrong, but it does create a little hole for me. Right here, as a matter of fact. You can see an increase there. So I said screw that, and I switched to yarn overs that get twisted on the next round. But then it made me, I started thinking about the top of the dress and how the neckline was so big and I had so many issues with it. I mean, okay, it's not terrible. It's not terrible. I think it would look nice. But the thing is, too, that when you do the increases around the nups, you're doing the knit and the stitch below. I feel like if I unknit the entire thing, aka just frog the hell out of it, I would have to buy more of the sequin yarn. I would use the sequin yarn right from the very beginning. I would do the neckline with smaller needles, because here's the thing too, this is cotton, so it's gonna grow. However, the cotton held with the polyester may not grow as much. That's something to consider. I don't know. If anybody has experience with that, let me know in the comments below how much you think it would not grow. Because I know cotton grows. Like, cotton will grow and grow when you block it. But if it's held with, I think this is just polyester. So if the polyester keeps it, I can hear you right now. Somebody's saying, Tina, why don't you just do a swatch? Why don't you do a swatch? Jeez, okay. Anyway, that's probably not a bad idea. I could do a little swatch. And I'm not emotionally invested in this project, and it's not for a deadline. It's not like I'm knitting a wedding dress and I'm getting married next week or something. So it's just a dress I'm knitting for funsies, and I like it a lot, and I would not mind reknitting it. And because I'm not like I'm not going to be entering it on the form or anything. I'm not panicked about, I'm going to miss a deadline or whatever. But I do, because I know things now that I didn't know back then, and because I've really thought about things now that I didn't know back then. And I love how I'm saying back then as if this was like 10 years ago. In reality, it was like not even 10 weeks ago. It was like 10 days ago. But I'm a different person now. And my different personhood means that I think I would go back and do the increases differently. And also, being mindful of where I want to stop the bobbles because I'm not doing the math to figure out where they fit on the chart that no longer works once you split for the frickin' sleeves. So I might actually do that. It's a little bit painful to rip something out when you've spent so much time on it, but if I'm going to knit myself an entire ding-dang dress, I want it to be something I'm 100% happy with. So I might just do that. I'm gonna do it. I am gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it on camera, but I'm gonna do it. Okay, decision made. I still do have the projects I have not touched. I have my murder sweater. I have my Jones sweater, which I really gotta get cracking on those again. I also, my orange sweater. I have not even started my orange sweater. And tomorrow I have to start the socks for Shark Week. And I'm really glad that I have a lot more time to knit now. So this week should be relatively easy. But yeah, so I guess next week I will have a much more interesting update on my knits probably. I will have a fresh start on my beautiful white dress. I'm kind of wondering though. I'm like, what size needles am I gonna go? Is it even possible? Like, could I knit these yarns together on size 1 needles? I don't know, man. But it's worthy of redoing. It's so pretty though. It's so freaking pretty and it's sparkly and I really like the way that the sequin yarn and the cotton look together. Let me see if I could get a close-up without knocking my microphone down. I'm not even going to worry about shit falling off the needles here because, oh, yeah, okay, we already have stitches slipping off. And I'm going to lose that stitch marker anyway, so... Okay, I'm doing it. I'm doing it right now. I'm taking it off. I'm taking it off the needles on camera. I also... Another thing that this pattern just kind of rubbed me the wrong way with. Besides the convoluted way that they worded how to knit into the stitch below, which they could have just done that, and then if somebody doesn't know how to do it, I guess they could look up instructions. I feel like if you didn't know how to knit into the stitch below, you'd be more confused by their explanation than if they just said it to do it, and then you looked it up and you were like, oh, okay, that's how you do it. The other thing that they said was something about threading marker threads, or I forget how it was worded. It was just really freaking bizarre. And then they tell you to move up the marker threads as you knit. And I'm like, don't you mean just like regular stitch markers that you have on the needles? And as you knit around, they move up while you knit because that's just how they work. I don't know. That confused me too. Another thing that I was not a huge fan of, and I might tweak this part because it just seems needlessly convoluted. So when you're knitting around and you have your stitch markers placed, and if you are in this particular case, there's 6 stitch markers. So you're knitting around, there's 6 stitch markers. And you have to increase 6 times every 3/4 inches for the skirt. So, okay, cool, fine. But it's so convoluted, and it just seems like kind of OCD and pedantic the way they're structured. Like, you have to do it after the 1st and 3rd marker, before the 2nd and 4th marker, and then on the sides, for the side markers, like under where you split for the sleeves, you have to do it alternatively. Like, on one round you'll do it in front of the marker, and then on the next increase round you'll do it behind the marker. And I'm just like, the increases aren't supposed to be super visible, so why does it really matter? I don't know, like, somebody could maybe explain that to me too. Also, these are not very long needles. Now that I have a beautiful, thank you again, Dawn, for that beautiful stitch needle organizer, I can pull out a bigger pair of needles. I didn't realize I was still working on such a small circumference. That is not going to fit a skirt, I'll tell you right now. So anyway, now that it's off the needles, Let's show you. I hope it shows up. Oh, I don't know if you could really see the difference. It's curling like a mofo. Obviously, the fabric is a little denser where I added the sequin. Oh boy, howdy. See, this is part of the reason I don't like daylight is because it's just too bright and it's blinding and it. Maybe you could see on the back side a little bit. No, this is no use really. I don't know, maybe a little bit. It's not gonna focus. Is it gonna good? I'm not gonna focus. Well, you could focus on my really super cool magnetic nail polish, I guess, but you're not gonna see the sequins. The sequins are, like I said, they're clear, so they just flash in the light. That's not really something you look at and you're immediately like, oh, sequins. But you do see the really pretty white thread here, which, no, sorry. It's too bright, it's too white. Maybe, even though I'm not officially entering, maybe I'll get a prize for most blindingly white project. I don't know. So anyway, decision made. It's off the needles. I may try it on just as a top before I completely frog it, just to make sure like everything fits fine. Because if everything doesn't fit fine, if it's too small, I mean, I'm doing a pretty good job losing weight. I'm down like another pound or two, so that's pretty good. I do fully intend to keep losing weight. I have a treadmill. I don't know if I mentioned that last week. I hold that 45-pound treadmill up the stairs by myself, and I've used it a few times. Not as much as I would like because work, but I think after this I will go pick up my laundry and then do a workout, and it'll be rad. So now that I've rambled on incessantly about things that are not yarn, and ripped my needles out on camera in front of God and everybody, I'll have a better update next week. I just wanted to give a really nice update. So you remember when I started this dress and I was really sad because I had sent a letter to a friend and it got bounced back. I was able to get back in touch with him. And not only was I able to get back in touch with him, I was able to tell him, you know, I want to be friends and I miss you and, you know, I miss having you in my life and I don't know why you're mad at me or whatever. But, you know, let me make it up to you if there's something that I did that hurt you or whatever. And it turns out he wasn't mad at me at all. He was just isolating, which totally understandable. Lord knows I've done it a few times. But he's just been isolating while he processes what he's been through with his sickness and everything. So anyway, we're back in touch now. And it's really wonderful. I feel like a light has come back into my life because I really miss that guy. So anyway, yeah, I'm still knitting my happy white dress though because, yeah. Anyway, I guess that's it. I don't think I have anything else to talk about other than I am also tonight after my workout and everything. I am going to start prototyping the Advent yarns. And I think I can get them all done tonight. Like, I'm telling you, I have been stewing with these ideas in my head every day for weeks. Like, I have been aching to work on this. So I think I'm just going to crank them out. I've also bought some really cool stuff for the Advent that I'm super excited for. One of the items just came today. I'm really excited. So hopefully, and you know, minis dry fast. So hopefully by tomorrow, being Sunday, the 20th, beginning of Shark Week, I should have the spoilers for the people who want to see spoilers first. So, yeah, really excited. I've also noticed brand new customers buying them, like people who I don't recognize their names, and I'm like, wow, I'm really flattered. So thank you for that. Anyway, I've rambled on for almost 20 minutes now, and ain't nobody got time for that. So, gonna let you go, and I'm gonna go do stuff, and I hope you're having a wonderful weekend, and I will talk to you soon. Mwah! Bye-bye.